Okay, all you gluttons for punishment, back for another sleeping pill presentation. This is the third phase of the K5WA remote experiment I've been playing with for about a year and a half now. And some of the items are the same, so I'm not really going to highlight those, but I'll be going over sections of the new stuff that's being put into place. Basically, a lot has happened. Well, as you can see from behind me, before I had a nice, neat wall picture. Well, we've redecorated our upstairs, and now I have my own radio room to make a mess in, and I've managed to move in and make a total wreck of everything behind me. But if you could see it the way I'm facing, it actually looks pretty good. Anyway, I'm having fun with the remote and have been doing some contesting. I don't know if anybody operated the N5W operation for the WRTC special event station, but our little group down here made 55,000 contacts, and then the globally the group made 1.5 million contacts in the month of January 2023. Promoting the WRTC event, which is going to happen in Bologna, Italy, in July of 2023. So we're kind of excited about that. I'm going to go be a competitor, and I'm not expecting to be anywhere above the middle of the pack, but I'm going to have a lot of fun while I'm there. Anyway, let's see what else. So, the first thing I wanted to show you, the Win for K4 suite now accepts the Elecraft. Let's see if I can get any more light on this. The Elecraft. I'd never make it as a weather forecaster. The Elecraft K-Pod. So I don't know if you can see this, but I'm going to spin the knob and see the VFO changing. That's a new thing. It was, for me, it was almost a killer event to have to use the up and down arrows to tune everything. That was just too much effort. So having the K-Pod on is a major step forward for Win for K4 suite. That helps it a lot. And then the other piece that I'll be emphasizing here is just getting the sound transport back and forth between the station running a lot better. I can now do sideband, CW, FT8, and well, any digital mode that'll transfer over an upper sideband connection, and then all of this is running on my zero-tier virtual private network. But anyway, well, let's get into it here. I'm going to step you through the different pieces, and as I'm making this recording, I'm doing it in pieces. So let's see how my splicing capability hangs in. Next, we'll move on. Okay, let's look at the voice meter part. Getting audio out to the station and back from the station. You know, you won't have a remote unless you can do that. And I've gone through several different iterations and different audio packages, and I've stumbled across voice meters V-band. It's virtual audio network. So. I've really gotten pleased with that. If you look at input 1, that says cable output. Well, okay, let me back up just a little bit. What I'm trying to do, first of all, I have to get the audio from the station. Well, that's pretty darn easy to do. That comes in over the virtual screen, the virtual input here, and then that is. Let's see if I'm lying to you. Okay, no, this one's coming in through cable A output. As you can see, my microphone, which goes out to the station, is on input number 2, and for you audiophiles that are familiar with voice panels or sound panels, which I wasn't, this A and B, there's an A channel and a B channel. So what I've got is station audio going on A, and then my audio, voice audio, going out to the station on B. And over here on the right hand side of that voice meter screen, the right slider is the audio that's going out to the station. The left slider is A. Now, why they label the inputs at the top A1 and A2, I do not know. It seems kind of strange, but anyway, once you play with that for enough hours, you'll figure it out, unless you were an audio recording specialist and got that figured out. But the voice meter piece has been hard to figure out, but now that I've got it running, it makes it actually pretty simple. Once you set it up once, and then control the you save it. Like here, you go to save. Well, that's not going to show up on the screen, is it? Load settings. Nope, it doesn't show up. I would like to in the menu piece. I'll see if I can circle this in post-production here so you can see what I'm talking about. But the menu piece gives you the ability to save your setup, because after you've spent so many hours to finally hear it work, you don't want to lose it by changing it. And believe me, it's very easy to change these. So that's the voice meter piece itself. Okay, now we move on to voice meter and its V-band component. This is the setup screen where it shows incoming and outgoing streams. And you'll notice the IP address I've got listed there. I don't mind sharing it with you because nobody can get to it unless you're on my VPN. That's a VPN address that's generated by Zero Tier. So I've got voice meter running above my head here so you can see the basic pieces, but the incoming streams can be pointed wherever I want. You'll see an incoming stream, the entry there is listed as its destination as in input number 1. So if you look at the V-band screen, what's going into number 1 is coming from the station. Now what's going out is down below where it says outgoing streams, and I've got my mic that I call it just the mic, but it also handles the FT8 audio as well. All of that gets sent out to the station via V-band. I've got a mirror image of what you're looking at here at the at my home is going on out at the station to receive all this. So that's the V-band piece of all this. Okay, well, let's see here. We're looking at the Win for K4 screen, which I've shown you before in one of the previous, I think in number 2, I was showing that I was beginning to use Win for K4 suite. There's also a Win for K3 suite, which shows a K3 or works with a K3. In the evolution of the Win for K4 suite, they've now added the pan adapter, which is pretty slick to have, because you can literally just click on a signal and tune to that signal. Of course, I'm tapping on the presentation expecting it to go. I have to tap on the live screen, and so that makes the VFO move to a different frequency. And if I could find my screen, there we go. But it's fun to move things around that way. Just double click on the screen, and of course I put it right on PSK31. Don't want to do that. Well, let's get down on another CW signal down here. But anyway, it moves around just like if you were sitting in front of the real screen. Of course, nobody's going to make any noise while I'm expecting it to do so in the middle of a presentation. Okay, and he just nobody wants to make any noise tonight. So let's go to that frequency, see if we can find. No, that's not going to cut it. Well, anyway, you can see as I've been jumping around here. There's a loud one that just popped up. Let's see if he's going to say something. There's lots of Parks on the Air operations going on tonight, so maybe one of them will pop in. I'll just spin the VFO here and see if I can find anybody. But anyway, that's the evolution. Win for K4 Suite is it's getting to be a pretty nice package. I don't think it's going to be able to compete with the Elecraft software if and when it ever comes out, but I'm still waiting on the Elecraft software to come out, and that may be a long time. So in the meantime, the Win for K4 Suite by VA2 FSQ is doing a good job. So that's that piece of it. Okay, so let's get into operating sideband. How do we do that? Uh, I showed you the Win for K4 screen here. It shows 14275 on the VFO, and I showed you the Elecraft K-Pod earlier, this thing, and as I turn the knob, watch the VFO. See how the VFO turns as I'm moving the K-Pod knob. This allows me to have, remote control of the rig at the other end of the station, or at the other end of the remote connection, and it's really pretty slick. It's a lot better than using up and down arrows to get to things. And then of course I've got the pan adapter, the Win for K4 Suite pan adapter on, so I can see signals and see if I'm on top of somebody, which I probably need to move. We'll move down here. Now let's move up here. Okay, you just click on the screen and your VFO jumps to wherever that is. And then on to the left of the pan adapter is our volume control, so I can raise and lower the volume coming in from the remote. And below my picture is the amp. We'll let's just click on Vox. I'll say a couple of words as a test. You can watch the amplifier. You can watch what goes on in the Win for K4 Suite screen. Hello test, 1, 2. Hello test. Hello test, 1, 2. Hello test. Okay, so you can see the amplifier bumping up there. I've tried to keep it a little bit low, and I'm pointing, as you can see on the rotator screen, I've chose the southeast antenna. So I'm just bombarding a poor Puerto Rican guy or somebody in South America rather than pointed up into the East Coast or something like that. But that's how you operate sideband, and it's actually, let me just turn it up here. Whoops, didn't mean to move that screen. But as we turn the volume up, let's click on somebody where we see a screen.
You'll be able to come next Sunday, or you'll be able to come Sunday, or Monday. Tuesday you can't come, so they got Sunday and Monday.
Okay, so there's a guy.
They get a lot done, though. They don't have too much more to do.
That's a guy I might talk to, if I tune him in, but that's what a signal sounds like
Missing some door,
coming in over sideband.
Like
so anyway, that's the sideband piece.
We didn't take them out. I said, well, the general contractor.
Okay, well, here's a screen that'll get you for sure. We talk about a screen full of stuff. Here it is. This is to show FT8 running on the remote. What I've got is up here. You've got the the voice meter that I showed you earlier. So voice meter is at the top of the screen, just to my right. The amplifier is to the left of that, the microbit screen, and we may transmit here a little bit just so you can see the meter going. And then of course our rotator. To my left is the Win for K4 remote control screen, and then below that is its pan adapter. And the largest part of the screen is JTDX, which is a program I use for FT8. I'm not a big FT8 user at all. It's just one I stumbled across. I think it's one of the newer ones, but no telling. I'll just turn this on so we can see if we can work somebody while we're sitting here. And then the screen to the left of that is the pan adapter output, showing you what's coming in on FT8. Then let's use a little bit of volume, so I'm not, I'm not faking it too much. But let's see. Oh, I've got that on. Yeah, okay, that should be transmitting. Oh, I've got the test on. There we go. Okay, so that is sending out a little bit of transmit signal that let's see if we make a contact while we're talking here. But anyway, getting all of this running over a remote, I honestly didn't think it would work due to the remote limitations or the latency. But it's apparently built in. I'm sure I'm missing a second on either the beginning or the end or both of the 15 seconds that I'm allotted here to transmit and receive. But okay, I see. As I'm transmitting, it's going to I'll have to sit here and shut up if we're ever going to make a contact, so I'm going to turn it off right now. Because when I talk, it actually keys up the transmitter out in the station, just because of all the audio I've got connected here. Anyway, you can see the screen on the left side of WSJT that shows all the incoming signals, and you can believe me that I'm making contacts. I just wanted to show you that with this setup you can do FT8, and it's actually pretty amazing. Anyway, okay, so that's the FT8 piece. Okay, and now here's how we do CW operation. It's let's see, turn that down. No, I can leave that up. Okay, here's how we do CW operation. You've seen the WIN for K4 screen, the amplifier, the antenna system, and then the voice meter volume control. That's the master volume control. But now I have pieces of the N1MM contesting software running. Normally I would have 7 or 8 of the N1MM pieces up on the screen, but it just doesn't present very well that way. So I'm just showing the log entry component to it, and just for this little test, we'll tune in. Let's see if we can find somebody here. Well, of course, nobody's on when we want to play around. Okay, there's a real weak guy, but okay, just for the heck of it, and I do have the transmitter set in test mode, so we're not actually transmitting. But let's just say we wanted to transmit right here. We would just say, okay, and that's enough. I usually call CQ in a contest. That didn't send anything out over the air, but you'll notice I could almost hear between elements. It's not quite QSK, and oh, I see. I didn't even have Vox on. There we go. Let's try that again. We'll send again, so it won't sound like it's chopping. Okay, I just hit several of the function key buttons to zip through what goes on during a code contest, but it works pretty well. It's not as fast as sitting in front of the station, and if you're going 35 to 40 words a minute in a contest, you're going to miss the first element of some of the guys that come back to you really, really fast. But in general, for non-serious contests or casual rag chewing, it's very good. I'm very pleased with it. I've got let's see, let me just change this a little bit on the screen so you can see this. Now we're looking, if you look at the WIN for K4 screen, It did not change, so I need to do this again and go to Vox delay. Now the Vox delay adjustment is showing underneath the S meter. You'll see two sections down, Vox gain, Vox delay. I've got the Vox delay set to practically zero. I think it's 0.03 for a little bit of a hold. But anyway, you've got latency of up to a half second getting to the station, and by the time you get the audio from your side tone monitor back, it's probably a full second. But it's very doable for a contest, and I'm enjoying the heck out of it. So that's how I do CW. Okay, well, thank you for listening. I hope you survived that. Sorry for all of the non-production quality production that's going on here. I'm too busy trying to get it to work and have fun, and I am terrible at presentations. So OBS is what I've learned. I've done it 3 times now, and then I just got the package. What is this called? DaVinci something to edit it. So DaVinci Resolve. Let's give credit where credit is due. But if anybody is interested and they didn't fall asleep completely and wanted to see how it actually worked, I don't mind doing a remote desktop or VNC or something like that where you tie into my machine here and I can give you a live demo and we can ask questions like that. If you see anything in here, just drop me an email, K5WA at ARRL.net. We'll get here and let me know your questions. I think there's only 3 or 4 people, so I should be able to handle that massive load of incoming email. But thanks again for listening, and glad there's somebody that I keep getting told every once in a while, really appreciate what you're learning, because I'm trying to learn it too, and if I can stay away from mistakes that you made, it saves me some time. So anything I can do to help along those lines. This isn't really a channel, and I'm surprised anybody subscribed. I don't even know how they subscribed because I didn't think I was a channel, but I'm glad you did, and lets me know some people are interested, so I'm glad to keep on doing it. Talk to you later. That was the K5WA Bob shutting down the remote for tonight.